Okay. Hi. Today we're going to be doing some Arknight stuff. Uh, the operators on China, the new ones, have all had their kits and their animations released. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at them, see where they might fit in like team comps or like how useful they potentially are. Um, I haven't seen any of these yet, so if I start like rambling partway through, please like forgive me. I tend to just go off when something comes to mind, and I will try to check myself, but we'll see. Right. First off, we have Harold. Harold is a 5-star wandering medic, and I believe he is actually free. So right off the bat, right, I have a bit of a worry that Harold just won't be anything too special. I mean, not even a worry. That's the expectation, right? Because like in this game with medics, they gotta do something else besides just purely heal. And like since he's a wandering medic, he's in like an especially narrow niche where they do one thing, and once you have a unit that does that one thing, there's not really a need to have multiple, right? So if you've already got Honeyberry or Mulberry built, there's not really a reason to build Herald unless he just does something fantastic. In which case, yeah, okay, maybe. That said, my hopes are not too high. That said, his design's really cool. Like I like that they decided to go with an older design when most games would just normally focus on like young hot people. I think it's unique, right? And his outfit's really cool. Like there's just so much detail here. I think it's really cool. Um, oh, I didn't even notice he has a prosthetic here. Yeah, he's gone and lost his leg. That's interesting. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. This is his bio. I'm gonna just toss this up on the screen while I read it. I thought I was finally going to be sent to the frontier, but at this moment, should I say that the country treats me rather well? Apologies, you are my future commander, are you not? A humble military doctor at your service. Okay, so he was in the military, sure. That would explain the missing leg, I suppose. I've read your report. Not only did you fit trip... Jesus. Not only did your trip fail to crack down on the Carlin Trade Company, but you actually even allowed Kashmirs to be involved, making the situation even more complicated. If I really want to punish you, I should at least deprive you of your title. However, the potential of Yerag you described in your report, based on what you personally saw and heard, as well as your judgment of the situation, can at least prove that you did not go to Yerag just to drink and have fun behind your wife's back. Good job, man. Do not worry about Yerag for now, and you don't need to rush back to your fife. I know you always take good care of the wounded in your team. You might as well go to a place called Rhodes Islands to take a look. Caster. So wherever he's from, they still have fiefdoms. That's interesting. Um, hmm. Here's the thing, right? This says he went to Yerag, which means he's not natively from there, which makes me wonder where he is natively from. Now, he looks to be a Lupo, I think. Never mind. I see Victoria in the background. I was gonna say maybe Syracusa, but no, he's just Victoria. All right. So Victoria's sending people into Yerag to scout out its potential, is my guess. And we're going to see Kazmir's in there as well. All right. All right, let's see his kit. Restores the HP of allied. Yeah, okay, this is your standard. His trait is your standard wandering medic trait. Fairly straightforward. Talent. When target exceeds 50% elemental damage within his range, target takes less elemental damage. All right. A bit of mitigation there. Skill 1, plus attack, your standard steroid. Skill 2, attack speed increase, prioritize most elemental damage. If more than 50% elemental damage, increase elemental recovery. Right. So my takeaway from this is that he is just going to lean really hard into that elemental damage recovery. That's what I'm getting from his talent and his skill 2. Now, I don't recall Mulberry and Honeyberry's kits. I believe Mulberry makes a field around herself, like in a wide range that will heal a certain number of operators, and I think Honeyberry just increases her targets for healing. I can't recall. But he at least seems to just burst out some elemental healing on his skill 2, which I guess if we have like significantly more of this elemental mechanic, then it could be useful. That said, I thought I didn't really think I don't really think there's going to be a reason to build him if you've already got a any of the other Wanderers built, unless you just really like him. In which case, yeah, why the heck not? He looks cool. I wonder if we can zoom in on this. Oh yeah, we can. Neat. I like his little hat. Are his ears going through his head? I never understood the clothing of Arknights. Like, how do they just tailor things for people's like? Yeah, it looks like this thing's just got like little loops for his ears. I like the look on his face in this one. He's got that really smug, like I could believe he's like a military officer or something. I think he's just a military medic, but yeah. This makes me think of God, what was it? I don't know if any of you have seen The Ancient Magus' Bride, but Chise's staff, that's what it makes me think of. Like with the wings and shit. Or I guess Cardcaptor Sakura as well. Yeah. That's what it reminds me of, Cardcaptor Sakura. For sure. It's a very dynamic, oh, he's a cat. Oh, he's not, I thought he was a Lubo, he's a feline. Oh, alright. Yeah, okay. And then, yeah, deploy and his poke. His little hat tilt. Alright, cool. That is Herald. Next, Leto. Now, I am pretty excited for Leto. I know she's only a 5-star, but I just like the Ursus. Students, they're really cute, and they got kind of screwed in Children of Ursus, so you gotta feel bad for them. Her design's really cool. This scarf coming down, I love the texture they put on this thing. It looks so neat. Also, I love the giant jacket. I always like that sort of oversized clothing deal. It's really, I just like that design. She's got a little harpoon gun here, it looks like. And then her axe. Sure. Leto. Let's see. Doctor, are we already familiar? We are already very familiar with each other. Do I really need to do this kind of thing? Just a formality? Okay. Leto felt a little depressed. Her sisters were very happy when they received their souvenirs, and when she told them about her heroic deeds during her trip to Iraq. They all listened with interest. She was delighted by his support. They didn't quite believe it. Okay, she also admitted that sheer audience she'd also think it was a bit too coincidental, but damn it, this is obviously the coolest thing about me this time. She walked to the doctor's office with a little resentment, decided to find the doctor to prove it. By the way, although they met in Kirag, though she forgot to give the doctor a gift at that time, so she might as well give it along the way now. With this in mind, she opened the door to the doctor's office. Okay. I mean, I don't think this gives like a ton of new information. Like, we already knew the Ursus kids were with us, so nothing here is too terribly new. Okay, let's see here. Now, Leto, I believe, is a 5-star guard, Lord guard, which, I mean, that's already a very, very heavily saturated class with some really heavy hitters, so I don't know how she's going to measure up, honestly. I hope she's good, but we'll see. All right, trait, standard ranged guard. Talent, when skill is activated, increase attack speed of all Ursus Student Council operators until the end of the skill. Okay, so, I mean, it's an Ursus buff, which I guess they needed. Like, I still don't think Ursus has, like, a very cohesive, like, a faction build, right? I don't think any of them, like, buff each other significantly. Aside from Leto, they might have gotten modules. I haven't been keeping up with modules. But no, I don't think they have, like, too many synergies. Well, I'd have to look around. I could be like completely wrong. I'd have to look into it again. Skill 1 is your standard guard steroid. That's fine. Skill 2, when skill is activated, immediately activate the skills of all Ursus Student Council operators with ready skills. Within the skill duration, increase attack, target 1 additional enemy, and range attacks no longer have reduced attack. Okay, so I think this first part is cool. I don't think it's going to be super useful. I'll be very real with you. It could actually just be a detriment in some points, but we'll get to that later. Within the skill duration, increase attack, target 1 additional enemy, and range attacks no longer have reduced attack. It's just a nerfed version of Thorns' skill, honestly. Right? Because she doesn't get the second charge of it, or like the second activation buff. It's just an one additional enemy. Like, it's nothing amazing, which I was kind of expecting, right? 5-star Lord Guard, it makes sense. Now, this first skill. So, on paper, it seems cool, right? You pop her skill, everyone else pops their skills. That might not be great, right? You might want to be saving like a Stina's skill for a particularly difficult enemy, which means you're either holding off on Leto's skill activation, or you're bursting a Stina too early, which could result in things leaking. I think this would have been a lot cooler if it just gave your Ursus operators like a free activation, right? Regardless of whatever their charge was at. But at that point, now I think she's a little bit too strong. Plus, it kind of mandates that she has to be run with Ursus, just because like nothing else about the skill is too terribly exciting, right? So I don't know. I feel like they could have made this second skill a little bit make it not so narrow, because as it is now, I would be worried about mistiming skills as a result, which, I mean, it kind of goes against the whole you want your operators to synergize, right? Let me think. Who are the Ursa student group? You've got Rosa, you've got Estina, you've got Gummy, and you've got Zima. So Zima, it doesn't matter when her skill activates, right? Or I guess if you're running her second skill, it does kind of matter. But if you're just running her for DP, first skill popping whenever, that's fine. If it's even up, since she'll be popping it as soon as possible anyways. Gummy, I mean, her first skill is auto cast, so I don't even think that matters. Her second skill, I don't think anybody ever actually uses, so... Like, if you're using Gummy's second skill, you probably want to time that one. So, again, Leto might throw that timing off. Estina, I already talked about. And Rosa, again, any of Rosa's skill, you don't want popping off time, so I can't see... Like, if this is not just a weird translation, and this is actually how this skill works, I think there is a good chance Leto might actually just be a straight up detriment to her team if other Ursus units are on there. I don't want to be like too negative about it because we haven't actually seen it in like practice and in action, but I have some reservations. I mean, I'm still going to E2 her because I think she's really cool. And this is her E2 art. She's a bear. Surprise. Oh, she's got two bears. She's got like a grizzly and a polar bear, I guess, to make up for the two colors of her hair, I guess. Or are they both polar bears and this one is just like weirdly colored, like lighting and shit? Who knows? I think it's just lighting because the paw on this one is the same color. She's not a polar bear though. It doesn't make sense. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. All right. Her design's really cool. I like the jacket. Jacket's really neat. All right. Redeploy. Standard. Poke. That's adorable. All right. And finally, the 6-star for the event, Degenbrecher. I mean, yeah, I already talked about her design last time. The little pauldron on her arm's cool. It also seems like she has like a bit of armor on her knee. It doesn't seem to be a full-on yeah, it's just a knee pad. Yeah. All right, let's see her Degenbrecher. Codename, you can just think of it as my name. I've read the contract and my work content doesn't seem to be any different, just a different person to protect. When walking into the waiting room, Degenbrecher couldn't help but feel a little emotional. When she first came to Yarag, the station couldn't even be called a building, it was just a simple open-air platform. Today, its decoration and crowds of people around it were no less lively than when she had seen it before. Although she had followed Ensiotis from his station to the snow-capped mountains countless times in the past for a long time, and although his trip to Rhodes Island was a vacation trip she proposed herself, she was still a little surprised to find that she actually felt a little bit reluctant to go. Sister Degenbrecher. A voice interrupted her thoughts. She looked back and saw it was a messenger and some familiar villagers. Told Ensiotis there's no need to send me off. I know, however, the folks heard that you're going on a far journey this time, so they forced me to lead the way. Please be careful when you go out. These are all our heartfelt wishes, so take them with you. Come back whenever you have time. Stuffing these in it was just during as a youth who was going to leave her hometown for the first time. That's cute. So she's fairly beloved in her hometown. It seems, well, not hometown. She's here for work, but it seems the villagers very much respect her. Again, there's not too much here that's significant to lore, I don't think. Nothing I could piece together like immediately. All right. Talents and skills. So she's a 6-star dual strike guard. I believe dual strike is base Chen's type, and I think Bybeak as well. I can't think of anyone else. Trait normal attack deals damage twice. Yep. When dealing damage, there is a certain chance to increase attack and disarm the target for several seconds, which is really cool. Now, how high that chance is to be seen, but yeah, disarm seems very cool. When disarm is when blocked, unable to perform normal attacks, which is neat, right? Because that means you could actually just stall someone forever if this thing kept rocking. But I'm assuming the proc rate for this is going to be fairly low. Like 20% maybe, who knows. Skill 1. Next attack deals physical damage twice, yep. To several nearby ground enemies. Okay, so her skill 1 actually does something different. See this animation again? Yeah, okay, so it's just like an AoE. That already seems really neat. Depends on how much damage it does, of course. But it's just like a wide area clear. Wide area thing of damage, that's neat. Skill 2. Slashes several ground enemies within range ahead 2 times. When attacking blocked enemies, slash 3 times instead. Talent 1 activation rate increases to 100%, and every slash deals a certain amount of physical damage. Can hold charges. Okay. Oh, we don't even know her talent 2 yet. Right. Talent 1 activation rate increases to 100%. So she's just guaranteed disarm. All right. And every slash deals a certain amount of physical damage. One, two. Okay. So, all right. So this is just, it doesn't actually give her any like steroid aside from her talent 1 activation, which, I mean, 100%, you're already disarming. I feel like this could be a very, very good utility skill. It doesn't seem like increases certain chance to increase. Like depending on how much her talent increases her attack, that could be significant. But even then, you could just use her for like holding shit, right? Like holding a line, making sure she doesn't take damage while some really annoying thing is trying to kill you. I could see the use just purely out of utility for her second skill. I don't think it'll be her primary skill just because I don't think utility is what you want your guards to be doing, right? They want to be doing big damage. So if her talent does not significantly increase her damage, I don't think skill 2 will be her primary skill. Skill 3. The fuck is going on there? Degenbrecher performs multiple slashes, each dealing a certain amount of physical damage to several enemies. Increase talent 1 activation rate by 100% and continually drag enemies towards self with certain force. Thereafter, deal another hit of physical and drag enemies towards self with greater force. So this is just... Alright, so this is a Inez, or not Inez, who am I thinking of? Irene range, right? Oh, is Irene double strike? I can't recall. Anyways, yeah. So it disarms them and pulls them to her, basically. And since neither of her skills give actual steroids to her ability or to her attack, that makes me think her talent 1 is going to have a significant buff. Is going to be like the scaling for that will be significant. That's my guess. Otherwise, she seems to be a purely utility unit, which I don't think they're going to do. But that's that. I mean, how useful would this be compared to the second, right? Because this is assuming you're dropping her in the middle of a group where you would benefit from just all directions pulling in, right? Unless she's a hella drop unit, like she has a low enough cooldown to just be able to use it as soon as she comes down, then I can see her being very useful, right? To cluster up enemies for whatever godforsaken sins you're gonna perform. But that said, if she's something like, if she needs to actually charge up, then you might only be really concerned about those things ahead of her, right? It depends. I mean, we don't have a lot of information. We need cooldowns and stuff as well, and scalings, and her second talent to really make heads or tails of her kit. I think her kit's very cool. I think just from the pure utility alone, I think it's very, very cool. My only concern is that a guard specifically is never going to be able to carry, is never going to be like super necessary if all they provide is utility. They got to do some fat damage. And I'm hoping she does. I'm hoping her talent scaling is just absurd, which would be very cool. But yeah, that is Degenbrecher. Let's go ahead and check here real quick. This is her deploy, standard. What's her tab? Oh, she doesn't like being tapped. Cool. Oh, I've heard people in the comments say that this dude is just a representation of her 3 Kashmir's wins, which, yeah, that makes sense. This is like her competition persona, which would explain the giant fucking horns. It's just her. She's really cool. I from her design to the way they designed her kit, I think she's really cool. I hope her scaling is good. I hope she's actually a good unit. Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, those were the 3 ops. I'm fairly pleased with all of them. Even if like I don't think Harold will be too special, he still looks cool and his design is cool. And even if Leto is kind of iffy on her skills, I just like Leto. Honestly, I just like the Ursus kids in general. So I'm not too worried about them. Plus her skill, plus Degenbrecher's stuff just looks really neat. Heck, if her scaling is really good, she might be an M9er. Because even just her first skill makes me think that she would just be good at not holding a lane, but just like clearing like garbage waves. Yeah, that was the video. Yeah, give me your thoughts on these operators. I like them a lot. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.